Great to have training camp going, and exciting time always. And as ownership, we're excited about the direction of our club and how things have been going. And Coach O'Connell and Kwesi doing a great job leading our organization. I do want to say a word about what's been the difficult news this summer, as we know, and Kyrie passing, and the others that were affected and victims of that tragedy. Our hearts and sympathies go, of course, to Kyrie and his family, and we're as supportive as we can be for the family. And a great young man, promising future, extinguished like that is obviously a big blow to all of us. So they're in our hearts, and I know we're carrying that through the season at the same time as we move forward, and we're going to move forward. I know Coach and Kwesi are moving this organization forward with that very much on our hearts. So with that, I'll take questions. Thank you.
Mark, so I guess the Kwesi and Kevin are in year 3 of the sort of competitive rebuild that they termed it when they were hired. I guess, how do you feel about the trajectory, and is contract extensions sort of on the table at all this coming year?
Yeah, we're very excited about the direction of Coach and Kwesi and the leadership they brought our organization and our culture. So we're excited about all of that. It's not something we're talking about at this point in terms of that. We're focusing on the season ahead. Just in a few short weeks, we're opening the season, and just feeling very good about the process and where our roster is at, and where we've come in terms of developing young players, bringing them along, as well as keeping our core leadership and veterans as well. Some great signings, and of course JJ and Darisaw and all the rest. There've been some good moves, and on defense, the free agents we brought in. So a lot of good things going on the football front, and we're excited for the season to get going.
Mark, when you talk about the season, it sounds like you want to wait till after the season before any of those talks would start.
I think that's fair. I think right now we're just focusing on the season and putting those things aside for now. Yeah.
Mark, just to clarify, when you say we're not talking, you mean you're not talking with them about things actively, or you're just not commenting publicly on anything?
Both.
Okay. Figured. Just wanted to check.
Mark, if you had to pick one thing from the ownership side that you love the most in terms of changes that this kind of group has brought forth, what would you say it is?
Well, I would just say the culture, the energy in the building, the collaboration among all the coaches, players, and staff, and it's a real good feeling around here. We do our part as ownership, try to provide the resources to not just get the best players and staff, but have the kind of facilities that our players and coaches can thrive in, to have the kind of training camp where our fans can experience it and enjoy football like we have, and of course having the finest stadium in the NFL, US Bank Stadium. So all of that combined with their leadership, I think, has created a real good environment, and there's great chemistry among our team and players in terms of getting along and working together on getting ready for the season.
Since you came in and acquired the team, is there any one thing that maybe has changed within the National Football League from an ownership standpoint that maybe either didn't exist or has changed between then and now?
Well, the league's constantly evolving, and I think that's one of the great things about the NFL. And we're not afraid to change, and certainly the game itself has to change. So certainly health and safety has constantly maintained the priority for the NFL as well as for us at the Vikings. And take the kickoff rule, for instance, this year, I think is a good change. And so always making it relevant for the fans, safe and healthy for players, and just the level of engagement with the fans has grown. The social media piece, the resources that they're able to be exposed to, and the connection with the players and staff that they have. So the game has grown quite a bit over 20 years, and every bit of it has been a real privilege for us as ownership to be part of it.
Mark, what was your reaction to them drafting J.J. McCarthy?
I couldn't be more excited. As we said around draft weekend, everything that he was advertised to be has proven to be. A leader on and off the field, tremendous talent, and I know under Coach O'Connell and the entire coaching staff around him and the players, he's going to develop into to be a great quarterback. So we're excited about the progress. I know Coach O'Connell's spoken to it, and I'll defer all that to him. But as far as what he means to the organization and the community, he's been a real great asset, just like advertised.
Mark, what would success this season look like in your mind?
Well, every year, pretty much our goals never waver, is to really compete and win divisions, ultimately win Super Bowl championships, and we know we're in a tough division, but I know Coach O'Connell's getting everybody ready. We feel, like I said, our roster's in a good spot. Of course, we've had the issues we've had, of course, the tragedy and some injury stuff, but overall, I think our roster's in a very good place.
What do you think about the changes around the division with all three teams being pretty busy?
If there's the only thing constant in life, and no exception in the NFL, the only thing constant is change. And but we're up for the challenge. And like I said, expectations are fine one way or the other. But in the end, we've got to prove it on the field. And I know, like I said, Coach has done a great job working our players hard, balancing the work and the rest and the health to get us ready for the season, and we're excited for the next step as we come up to Saturday in the first game.
So when you get to the end of the season and contract extensions come up, like how will you judge that, and how will you proceed? And historically, how have you done that?
We'll judge it like we've always done. We evaluate the full body of work for everybody, and we're gonna evaluate all the factors that go into how we did, how we're doing. How they conduct, if you're talking specifically about coach or GM, but just in general, everybody's evaluated the same way on how they're performing, and it's a competitive business, and we have big expectations for a squad, and like I said, we're feel very good about the direction of the team under Kevin and Kwesi.
Like, is it as simple as they need to make the playoffs to get contract extensions?
Again, I'm not going to put out a litmus test here. We're just trying to get ready for the Raiders Saturday, and one practice at a time.
Mark, as an ownership group, how patient are you guys willing to be with the young quarterback?
Well, like I said, we have a lot of faith in Coach O'Connell. He knows how to develop quarterbacks, and we defer a great deal to how he's leading the quarterback room. And like I said, we have good quarterbacks in our room, great quarterbacks potentially, but they got to be developed. And Sam's going to lead us as well, and he has tremendous talent as well. And so, again, the bottom line from ownership is, we're here to provide the resources. We're here to provide the leadership and coaching. And Kevin O'Connell is our head coach, and he knows quarterbacks, and we have confidence in his ability to develop these guys.
So, Mark, to that point, I guess when Coach O'Connell is going through the development process with J.J. McCarthy, how involved are you guys, and what are the conversations like with him about how the development's going?
We've been engaged in the conversations from even before the draft with Kwesi and Kevin, and what kind of quarterback we're picking, how we develop that room. So, again, we have all the confidence hearing what we're hearing from them that they're going about it the right way. And so as ownership, generally, our philosophy is provide the resources, but at the same time, we want to win, but we also try to think long-term about the health of the long-term of the organization, not just business-wise, but winning. And that's what our fans want, that's what we want, and that's what we're trying to build for the long term.
You realize it's your 20th season already?
Hard to believe. It's been a crazy 2 decades here, a lot of good memories, and part of the greatness of the journey is just we have the greatest fans in the world, and the ability that we always say, we're stewards of this great organization with such a rich history. We have great alumni, great legends, and great players and coaches and staff and personnel, and to provide the resources to upgrade our stadium to the best, and the facilities and the people, most importantly. We've met some great people over the 20 years and had some great memories, and it's a great privilege to be part of this.
As much as you guys have been committed to process and being supportive as owners to the coaching staff, front office, have you and Ziggy ever felt any frustration or impatience with still chasing the Super Bowl instead of celebrating one?
Of course, that drives us every single day is bringing home Super Bowl championships for our fans, and we want to win. We have to balance that. We're fans too. We want to win these games. We know how much it means to our fans, to our organization, and like I said, what we're doing is to providing the resources and the leadership best we can to make it happen. And I think we're in a good position to build towards that right here.
You mentioned the legends, but Bobby Bryant had to go in the Ring of Honor this year. What has impressed you from what you learned about his abilities and what he meant to the organization?
Well, a phenomenal talent over many years. I think the longevity, the consistency to be at the top of his game like he was, as well as doing things in the community too. So it's the whole package. And he's although he was before our time as ownership, I know how much he means to Viking fans and to Skull Nation, if you will. And so we're very excited that the Ring of Honor is going to be welcoming him very soon here.